Perfect. 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 Perfect.
Yeah. Good people, what's going on? It's your boy Gaming Dad. We're getting started in about 30 seconds. Talk about this direct. I don't know about the direct today. Interesting, it was.
Perfect.
Super exciting, it was not. Let's talk about it. What's going on, good people? It's your boy Gaming Dad, man. Today's Tuesday? Today is Tuesday. We streamed yesterday. All right, got home, got enough chance. Geeky is first in the chat. Got a chance to come home and check out the direct, and I will tell you this. What can I grade? I'm going to give it a C, man. Even though, I mean, it's hard to give it a C. To be honest, it is hard to give it a C. But I'm going to tell you why it's a C and not a B. I guess I can start there. I can tell you why it's not a legit B. It wasn't an A show for sure. But why it's not a B is because of two games and 2 games alone. One, they showed nothing for Dust Bloods. Not a thing. They remix and gave us that same always and say, hey, there's a play test in the summer. Show us some gameplay. They should have showed some gameplay. Epic fail for them. Epic fail. And Geeky said barely a C. And you know what? And another reason why to me it didn't make a B status. They showed nothing. They showed a colorful Link laying down with no gameplay. Not a drop or dime of gameplay. Not one. For those two games alone, it is absolutely definitely a B. If you are an RPG fan, this is probably a B/A show for you because there was tons of RPG. But I was like, I saw from a Nintendo standpoint, I didn't see anything that was like, oh my goodness. Of course, Ocarina of Time is gonna be Ocarina of Time. I'm picking it up. It's a day one pickup for me. It was my favorite game of all time until Breath of the Wild jumped on the scene. But uh, now I'm going to talk to you about why it was not an A. It was not an A, and where it could have been an A, but key things were not announced from Nintendo. This was a really good partner direct. This was probably like the best partner direct of the year. This would I can't even call this a Nintendo direct. So yeah, we got some dates for Tomb Raiders, and we got some dates for some other games. But this was a really good partner direct. This wasn't a Nintendo direct to me. Yep, we got Zelda. I think because Zelda, you got to call it some form of Nintendo Direct. You got to call it that, but I mean, you got Xenoblade. But once again, man, just I think you know what. Of the shows, I probably would put this third. I think Xbox had the best show overall, then Summer Games Fest, Nintendo, then Sony. The only thing this show really showed me is for sure is that we will get a direct in September. That's the only thing this show confirmed. There will be a direct in September. They're gonna have to have, or they do a bunch of small directs, which is stupid. But they're gonna have to show some more Zelda. They're gonna have to show some more Zelda. There's a lot of games they're gonna have to show. Dust Blood's gonna need his Call of Duty wasn't even at the show. That was like Call of Duty wasn't even there. Like it was a bunch of games they could have showed gameplay of. They could have really made this thing like, oh, okay. No Mario teaser at all. You would think like, all right, you got Mario Galaxy. They saw the billion. You got kids out there salivating for Mario, and you showed them nothing. Not even like a hint. But this is what he told investors. He said, "Hey, you know what? We have games that's coming. You got a lot of third-party games that's coming, but Nintendo, people buy Nintendo um, handhelds and game systems for Nintendo properties, and this wasn't a whole lot." GT, what's going on, sir? He says, this child man got me in a Wendy's drive thru for a strawberry frosty. Just jumps on my motorcycle and steals an airbag and says, to Wendy's, I'll be like 10 minutes. Man, you gotta love kids, man. You gotta listen, man. I'm telling you, you gotta love them, man. Geeky said all they had was RPGs. Yeah, it was heavy RPG. GT show is the definition of could have been a tweet. Yeah, looking really dry. Yeah, you know what, man? I was I am not like, ooh, I'm super happy. There are some games I was like, okay, And I tried to write down the majority of them, but then I got tired of writing them down because there were a lot of games, a lot of games. Um, Games that excited me, at Tomb Raider being dropped today was nice. Devil May Cry later on. I think maybe within the next couple of weeks. I was like, okay, because I didn't play Devil May Cry 5, so like I'm picking that up. Rhythm Heaven. I'm a fan of Rhythm Heaven, so yeah. But it's, I seen it already. It wasn't like nothing new. Um, Let me look at my list real quick. Um, Star Fox demo today. Star Fox looks good. I don't think we needed a treehouse event for Star Fox, even though the multiplayer looked a little slow. I didn't get that sense of speed from the show. So, but I digress. Um, Stellar Blade. I never did play the first one, so I was excited to see that one. Kind of wonder how it plays first. They had another game on here. Where's it called? Miramusho Revenant. I know I'm saying it wrong, but however, that's up my alley. The games were good. Nice to see Kingdom Hearts 4 announced at the direct. That was good for them. Um, no Expedition 33. Another one. I was like, okay, this is gonna be here. Um, how many more Xenoblade Switch 2 editions do we need? I don't know. Lords of the Fallen, Pokopia got some updates. Rayman Legends, I'll probably pick that up. As up my alley. But besides that, I mean, Warhammer 40,000. I don't know. I want to pick up that game. It all depends on how it runs. I would definitely I won't pull the trigger until I see some reviews. Kiki says, I just don't understand why we didn't have more of a variety of games. Where are the devs at making games for Nintendo Switch 2? Yeah, you know what? I agree. Uh, um, the only justification I can give for that, Geeky, is that maybe Nintendo is building up a catalog. The beauty of Switch One is that they had so many not Switch, but so many Wii U games that it was an easy convert over to the system. So they had a games that people probably should have played but didn't get to play. And a lot of that got opportunities to kind of be stored up and remastered and put out there. So they had a good cadence of games to kind of live off of from the Wii U era. And and they kind of want that same kind of cadence because that was really, really good for them. But I just didn't see it. I didn't see it. Zelda's probably gonna be the Christmas game. I just don't see how the rest of this year unfolds. There are games to buy, and maybe we be greedy, but when it comes to Nintendo first parties, it just wasn't. I didn't see anything worth. Not saying that. It's some games. I'm like I probably will play Splatoon, but nothing new. If I'm correct, right, there was nothing new at this direct. But this was a really good partner direct. That's what it should have just been a partner direct. They should have just held Zelda back and say, "Hey, we're gonna do something else later." But you had Star Fox, you had Splatoon, you had Zelda, Rhythm Heaven, and I think that's it. You had a Donkey Kong challenge that I ain't care nothing about. Twitch chat is still broken. Okay, I'll look into it today, but I'm not giving out nothing today though either way. So, but I will look into that. Dang, for real, Kenny. I wouldn't call it the worst direct. I believe Kenny. It was a really good. It was a really good um, partner direct. That's right. They did have Fire Emblem. So that's 5 games. Yeah, I just don't think you could have really, really called this like, oh man, this was everything that was. Well, I'm trying to think. What was a surprise for me? We got rumors that Celebrate was coming, but to have that kind of officially announced was good. Dragon's Dogma 2. I didn't know that was coming. Najala 2. I like the first Najala, but this one here gets like it got a single player focus, so might be all right. Lords of the Fallen. I didn't think that was coming, but it did popped up. What else? A Star Fox demo was nice. That was kind of surprising, but not surprising at the same time. A Splatoon Direct announced. I've seen enough of that game. I really don't need any more to show me, unless they get something up their sleeve that they have not shown yet. Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement. I mean, that was nice too, but I'm not a big RPG fan like that. Pokepia got us some paid DLC coming. um, Everything else we kind of knew about. Oh yeah, you know what? The sports resort. You know what? I yeah, I probably will pick that up. That's it though. Let me see what y'all got to say. GT says, I've been telling y'all. I said I've been trying to tell you. Nintendo doesn't have devs like Sony and Microsoft. They are a much smaller team. Let's see. GT says, when you have them making DLC for Pokepia, Donkey Kong, creating Star Fox, Zelda, Fire Emblem, Splatoon, and that sports resort, they're stretched to the max. Quake 311 says, B. Gameplay for Aqua would have been an A. Yeah, you know what? I think you know what. Listen, I gave it a C. I gave it a C. I gave it a strong C because they had some games that I'm gonna pick up, but it's not. I couldn't give it a B because there was no gameplay of Zelda. There was no gameplay of Dust Bloods. I think you know, especially to me, Dust Bloods not having gameplay at this stage of the game because we kind of had an idea that it was gonna come out early 2026. Not just to say we're gonna announce a playtest. That's bull. I want it more than just that. Kitty from A says, Ocarina of Time is an old game. We knew it would be there already. That was a D minus direct. Brutal. GT says Orbitals also look decent and is an exclusive. Yeah, I forgot about Orbitals. Though probably timed. Yeah, definitely so. Yep, it looked the most Nintendo unique game of the prior whole direct. There was nothing shocking. Yeah, I agree. Nothing that's like, oh my goodness. My hype for Ducks Bloods is now officially dead. Yeah, I mean, until they show something, I just don't even want to talk about it no more. Now that it's pretty much confirmed to be an online game. Yeah, but you know what? They already said it was going to be some form of online experience with Dust Bloods, but that you know it's not going to have any kind of single player. Well, I'm not official to say that, but that's the kind of the sentiment I've gotten from that. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Listen, I put that. I should have put that in the chat. I should have said, you know what? Let's see if I can put that poll up real quick. But yeah, you know what? Definitely. I think this show for me was better than. It was a little bit. It was a tad bit better than Sony's, but it's still like the third best show. Risen Heaven, I do want that. My brother-in-law is stoked for Fire Emblem. Yeah, I think you know what? I think Fire Emblem had a good showing. I think if you're a Fire Emblem fan, I think you know what you should be eating pretty good. GT says also my hype for Fire Emblem has also kind of gone down a bit now that I found out the hero isn't a blank slate. It's four main characters to select from and straightforward stories. You still picking it up. I believe you are still picking up this game. You know, Fire Emblem is your jam. But yeah, you know what? Games that I just thought was gonna definitely be there. Like, hey, Red Dead 2, you know what? Nothing like, nothing that kind of blow you out the water. Yep. I would have gave it a B though. If we did have at least have some gameplay from one of those two games. To me, not showing Zelda is like I, I don't know how you make that decision. Like I don't know who to say we're just gonna show them this. I want to know who made that decision. Like after the direct today, you don't show me nothing to say. You know what? I just have to have me a Switch before y'all increase his prices. Maybe that happens at the September direct because I believe there will be a September direct. I'm calling it out now. Of my predictions, to see, nothing. I didn't have not one of my predictions come true. Not one of them. No 3D Zelda, no 3D Mario announced. Why not show Call of Duty? If it's coming out day and date, why not show Call of Duty? I didn't understand that. Maybe they hold that for September Direct. Maybe. I don't understand that. No college football 2027. GT said they got rid of those of the choose your own adventure aspect. Oh, I wonder why they do that. I think that's one of the things people like. Kiki says there gotta be a September direct because that was rough. Yeah, it has to be one. And the reason why I believe that it absolutely has to be a September, maybe early October direct is because they're gonna have to show Zelda at some point in time, and I don't think Zelda can just be a tweet. Now they could have a small direct for Zelda. They could do that. But I believe they need a small direct for a lot of stuff. They need a small direct for Call of Duty. If any third party that needs a small direct where people can really hone in, especially if it's good, it needs to be Call of Duty. I don't understand why they wouldn't want to show it. So that concerns me. It's like, why wouldn't you want to show CMG? You get to show it. No way. There's no way you get to show it. You must explain yourself. Kenny from Maine says any Mario game coming this year. None that I know of. None that's not even rumored. I don't think so. I don't think they plot a Mario game to have competition with now a Ocarina of Time remake. Zelda is Zelda. That's going. I don't care what they going. That was my favorite game of all time before Breath of the Wild. So I'm there day one. But we kind of already knew that this game was coming. Like if we never had any leaks, if there was no leaks at all, and we didn't know nothing, and all of a sudden they said Zelda remake right at the end, it'd have been a different experience. But we knew this was coming. It was rumored for a long time. So it's I think so many things. Like I don't know who's on a board and their teams and say, hey, you know what? These are the games you should be making because they should have definitely had something. GT says I would have bought an older COD game on Switch too, but not the newest one. Yeah, like why? those would have been the perfect. That would have been the perfect segment. I just knew that was going to be shown because they didn't already show Call of Duty already for the other systems, and they already announced it's coming to Switch 2. Why not show that here? And then they could have shadow dropped them old cards today, buddy. It would have dominated the show. Cause Castle would have been playing. I would have been downloading that right this very second. So, man, I don't know. CMG, you gave it an A. I'm waiting for you to defend yourself. I cannot give it an A. They had some games. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm probably gonna pick up Stellar Blade. And I'm probably gonna pick up Rayman Legends. But you even have Metaphor Rutazio. I mean, I'm because once again, I'm not an RPG fan, so it don't like I'm an action RPG fan, but I'm just not a I'm definitely not a turn based guy. GT said he needs to be an A after the Knicks blew the lead last night. Oh man, to me, this next game for the Knicks, man, they gotta win it. They gotta beat them in 5. I don't think you go to 6 games. Well, best believe, man, this series is going to 7 games because they want all that money. They want the season to be as long as possible. This was great. Did y'all give it? Oh man, I gave it a C. I gave it a C. Dang, hold on. Court class every Tuesday. Okay, my bad. I was reading. Had to read these case notes real quick for my job. Ooh, True Game, you gave it an F. Now, it is that. Now, I don't agree. It's not this wasn't an F show. It wasn't an F show. It wasn't a D show. I mean, I can see some justification for D because if you're not an RPG fan, okay, if you're not an RPG fan, then this is probably a D or F show. Oh man, GT says that was a C show. 3 games I'm interested in on the Switch 2, and 2 games I will be buying elsewhere. Also, who asked for a single player Splatoon game? Oh man, what's going on, Jay Busy? He said you giving it a B. I gave it a C, Jay Biz. You know what, man? I just he said it was garbage for me, bro. Man, listen, I'm telling you, listen. I just finished watching season 2 of Devil May Cry, and I was a big Devil May Cry fan back on the PS2. I'm picking up Devil May Cry. I was genuinely excited to say, okay, and this is like right before Star Fox. I was like, it's in a couple weeks. Yeah, I'm picking that up. But everything else is like, maybe, because there's other games. Listen, there's games like Castlevania is October. I'm picking that up. Metal Gear Solid. I've got the what's the date on that one? I'm picking that up. The rest of them kind of just let me know there are games that I can buy and play. Stellar Blade. I'm not super excited about Stellar Blade, but I think I want to play it. I never played Lies of P. Has anyone played Lies of P? Oh man, is there a video? Listen, CMG, is there a video? Because yeah, I would be pissed too. JB says I like Tomb Raider, Stella, and I'm interested in War. Right. See, with Warhammer though, I got to see how it played because I wasn't too keen on how it looked doing that sizzle reel. GT says, honestly, let me roll this back down. He says, honestly, who here has completed a Splatoon campaign? Splatoon is popular for multiplayer, and people be clicking B hard to get past the non-stop talking from the character. Clicking it hard too. You right. You right. Kitty says on third party wise, it wasn't bad, but I think people are mad because there was no first party game jars. You know what? You're right. There was some first party games there, but it just wasn't the ones with, like, it wasn't the tempos. At like it'd be nice to have a WarioWare. They didn't have. It wasn't a whole lot of variety. It was like they could have called this a partner direct, and I think from that sentiment, we'd have been like, all right, this was pretty good. Matter of fact, if it was just a partner direct, I probably would have gave it a B. Because I was like, all right, for a partner direct, they had games on there that I want. But to call it a Nintendo General Direct, and you showed no gameplay of Zelda, crazy. It says, Kenny says, I was going to get Star Fox, Metal Gear, Splatoon, and Zelda. Glad to see that. GT says, Last of P is great. One of the best soul like games out there. Plus, there is an easy mode for people who suck at games, aka Gaming Dad difficulty. Well, what? Listen, what figures in the middle of this here? Can I roll it up for you? I'm gonna roll this one out. Roll this one out for GT. I won't do that to you. But that's funny. All right, let's see. GT said they're beating up anybody who has a Spurs jersey on. Golly, that's crazy. It ain't that serious. Quay 311 says, I'm surprised Claire Obscure Expedition 33 didn't get an appearance on Switch 2. Yeah. I was surprised, like, okay, to me, if any show, this should have been there. It should have been definitely heavy on that aspect. But yeah, I was another thing I was just kind of surprised at. Sonic Nugget says, it was Zelda Majora's Mask. I have wanted more. I like Majora's Mask. I think that was another great Zelda game. It just wasn't my favorite. Let's see. Or a sequel to MM. Well, yeah, okay, what's MM? J Big says, I wanted to fight someone over starting with. Yeah, Ruth and Heather wasn't the game you start to show off with. That was the fight. Quay says, I've actually played all three Splatoon campaigns, but not the multiplayer since the Wii U days. I'm looking forward to Raiders, but given it's so late in the summer, it'll be a holiday game for us. I mean, the multiplayer is really good. I would say that multiplayer on Splatoon is really good. Todd, year of not Nintendo. That is not the year of not Nintendo. Not yet. But they have to have a September Direct. Jay Big says the reason why I skipped Splatoon 3 is because I was tired of multiplayer. Multiplayer, heck, I don't even really play COD multiplayer. I don't really play COD multiplayer either. However, because I get burnt out, I would love to play where I can, saying have small groups, of friends to play on a Nintendo console. I'll be all in favor of that. CMG says, which games you guys wanted to see? At least I wanted more Zelda. I wanted a Mario teaser. I think this was prime opportunity to tease Mario for 27 cents. This is prime opportunity. Um, I wanted something Smash Brothers related. I just wanted more Nintendo. Yeah, but definitely, yeah. I mean, I was excited for Devil May Cry, but I just wanted this wasn't like at nothing that at Nintendo Directs are known for saying really bringing some like some wild moments, and I just wasn't wild. Oh my bad. It says all on the internet, so I was seeing videos of. All right, bet. Listen, it ain't that serious. So Mario Kart DLC would have been great. You right. You're right. And for that alone, I'll be like, okay, they gotta that DLC might be like a YouTube slash Twitch moment. More GameCube games, yeah. That would have been nice too. Switch Lite, huh? Now that would have been nice too. Let's see. Seeing more Pokepia made me want to bash my head on my desk. I wanted to poke my eyes out when I saw Hello Kitty. Oh man, don't do it like that. No Smash update either. Jay, that's crazy. Pokepia has a free underwater update, but paid content to do much else underwater than just swimming. GT, you are right. I wanted to see Kid Icarus uh uh first person shooter game with power ups placed around the map like Halo. Yeah, that would have been dope too. Is that was almost the direct of my worst nightmares. Let's see. My brother with the verse of the day. Hold on, let me get back to about to escape on me. Matthew chapter 7, verse 13 and 14 says, either by enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction. And those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to heaven. I tell you, man, listen, every day we should be combing ourselves and be checking how we act towards other people, the things we're saying, and repenting. Because that path, he said, is narrow. There'll be many people who say, Lord, Lord. And he'll say, I do not know you. Depart from me. You don't want that. You don't want him to say that. So you got to start looking at your life and checking it. Thank you, my brother, for that, for the scripture today. No Paper Mario either. Is it leads to life, and those who will find it are few. It's people right now that don't even care about the Bible. It's crazy. JB said I had to turn my brain off when they showed Switch Sports. Ah, I was digging. I mean, I dig Switch Sports. It's my jam. It's like one of them things. Like, all right, I just want to just kind of get active. Switch Sports. Sonic Test. The only Mario reference was something that with Donkey Kong. Yeah, that was the only reference. You get the little update where you can have Paulina, what her name is, have the Luigi outfit on. Maybe a new open world game, but not built in the Zelda universe. Yeah, I think they do need something new. Not sure why Dr. Mario is such a hard axe during the Switch generation. Yeah, man, listen, they trying to make some money. They don't think they're gonna make the money with Dr. Mario. But I believe if they make it exciting enough, they probably could. Or even having a Dr. Mario 99 would be which to me would be smart. Zelda ain't got IPs I personally care about. I wanted a new IP. Where is their creativity? Can we get some new IPs? Bored of Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong on repeat. I get it, but has anyone tried the Star Fox demo? Nope. I just recently downloaded it. Let's see. Yeah, mine's just downloaded, so I will I will check that out sometime today. But yeah, man. So I think overall I wasn't too excited about this direct. I'm glad I didn't have a whole lot of, I'm glad my hype wasn't through the roof. I'm glad I was able to taper my excitement down because I was like, I really don't know. And I'm happy for the things it got. I like Tomb Raider being dropped today. I'll be picking that up. Devil May Cry is going to get bought. Rayman is going to get bought. But you know what? I don't know. Maybe it was the TV. Maybe it was the YouTube compression. But it didn't look as good as what was shown, I think, during Xbox. Yeah, but you're right. Najala 2, 'cause you know what, if you didn't play Najala 1, I think you missed out. Cause that was Najala 1 was a pretty good Splatoon alternative. It was different. But it was pretty good. GT said, "How about a Pokemon game where you are a gym leader? You select the type of badge, do requests to get new Pokemon on your badge type, level them up, fight gym challenges. That would be cool. I think that would, yeah, absolutely. I would, to be honest, speaking of Pokemon, I would love a new Pokemon tournament. Because low key, man, Pokemon tournament was really good. That was a really good Pokemon fighting game. I wonder if I still own that game. I need to look. I need to search. I might still own it. If not, that might be one might be worth picking back up just to have me a collection. I should have put a poll out there. Matter of fact, let's see how many people. I might let me pull up my. Let's see. Give me 1 second, good people. I'm gonna put this poll out there. I'm supposed to do it at the beginning, but I was happy to get here on time today. Give me 1 second. Let's see. All right, it says. All right, we're gonna grade the direct. ABCF. All right, get a chance. We're live. The poll is live on YouTube, so feel free to jump over there real quick and get your vote on. I honestly think Sony's presentation was better than Nintendo's this year. Oh, that's probably a better poll question. I don't know. I don't know. Wolverine looked good. Wolverine, to me, like I would prefer not to have a teaser. I would prefer to have some gameplay, and I can appreciate God of what else? What did J Biggs who called it Kieran of War? That was so funny. See, all right, I give it a C it the most. It definitely to me wasn't a B. I give it a C, but right now B is leading the way. Yeah, C at the most, I can only give it a C. And you know what? To that credence to that right there shows that maybe you know what when it comes to the four presentations, Nintendo might have been worse. Crit 311 says, agree. Wolverine hype is high, but Ocarina of Time is still the only thing that could go toe to toe with GTA. Yeah, especially if you're a Nintendo fan, I agree. But something got to be shown. GT says, Sony hit me with 3 games I will be buying on their platform and multiplats that I won't be buying on a PS5. But will be buying. Nintendo showed me a bunch of games already owned and 3 games I will buy. They also squashed my hype on a few games at this direct. Quake 311 says, had Ocarina not been leaked and gameplay shown, it would have been a solid A. Agreed. Agreed. This is where I think the leaks definitely softened the blow. Um, but if we'd have had gameplay, I'll be talking a different story. But no gameplay. That decision, knowing you're gonna say this game is coming in 2026, and you have the biggest direct at the biggest time throughout the gaming atmosphere, and you say, you know what, I am not gonna show any gameplay. So what comes first? Is it not which not Pack East? Is it Pack East? No, Pack East is early in the year. Which like next event is next where you could play games? I forgot which one is like come Gamescom. Maybe at Gamescom they show you some gameplay. Maybe. Do Jeff Keighley do something at Gamescom? I think he does. Maybe at Gamescom we get some gameplay. You know what? This year is already half over with. Just imagine what can we truly expect toward the end of this year. Jeff Keighley's show will be here in what 5.5 months. GT says, this is the third time they've remade Zelda Ocarina of Time, and the fourth time they've released it, even if it wasn't leaked. I don't know how people can be hyped to play it yet again, especially playing full price. Uh, I believe this direct is not really catered to us. I think we have to all kind of come to an agreement. Like, yeah, they're gonna rinse and repeat these games because there's a whole generation of kids who never play Ocarina of Time. There's a whole generation of kids who just play Breath of the Wild and have no idea that there was an Ocarina. The same thing with like Metroid remastered. Like, yeah, there's a bit of people who not even touched a Metroid game. So, in saying that, this is what they keep rinsing and repeating. PAX West. That's right. Yeah, PAX West. I think wherever that next big show is, we know it. Maybe there shows something. J Big says 8 Big Eric was the first one that heard say Kieran of War. Man, that was funny. Karen of War. But I do like how vicious he was. He was like, I will kill you. Touch me again, I will kill you. I was like, ooh, so aggressive. Not everyone played every version of Ocarina. I've only played the Nintendo 64 and the Nintendo 64 online. Yeah, it's true. You know what I mean? I believe these directs are really trying to center it around getting more people to dive in and experience, probably for me, one of the best games I ever played. GT says if they never played it, cool. But I'm talking to the Nintendo fans in this chat. How can they be hyped to play this yet again? Because the game is a good game. And then when it's reimagined, it's reimagined from a different perspective. You can't say that you have never played a game that's been remastered. We can look at a number of games that has been redone or shaped up, or like Metroid Remastered is super good, especially if you haven't played it in a long time. Because you play one game one time doesn't mean you won't want to go play it again. Sometimes, you know what, taking decades off from a game and going back and relive that is nostalgia. It's things that you know what that we like to do. So yeah, I mean, I have no problems at all. I want to replay the game. I haven't replayed Ocarina of Time, and I mean before Switch One. So it's been a grip. I think, like matter of fact, the last time I replayed it was either on the 3DS or the DS, one or two. It's like chill. You're in your late 20s, 40s. If you're a Nintendo fan, you're likely played this before. Agreed. Yeah, it's okay to play a game again. It's not world changing. It there's few games you can really say that's been world changing within the last. I mean, it's a handful of them, but it's not a lot of them. Like for instance, hey, have I beat Metal Gear Solid 4? Yes, I beat it before. It was wonderful. But am I going to play it again? I absolutely going to play it again because I haven't played it since the PS3. So you got the whole PS4 generation, all PS5 generation. So yeah, I'm on it. J Biggs, you right. If they remade, hold on, let me go back to his comment. He said if they remade Mario 64, I would buy it again. Absolutely, absolutely, I would. Steve M says, I am hyped to play Ocarina of Time remake. Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm ready to go. But I'm more hyped to play Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. Listen, I can dig that. They did remake No, 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 no. Yeah, that wasn't really a remake. They touched it up a little bit, but it wasn't like a remake remake. We talking about, hey, you know what? We wanna really clean it up. They didn't clean up that bad in All Stars. It was still pretty much Mario 64. GT says I would be more excited if they released a new Zelda game, and I'm not even a Zelda fan. Yeah, you know what? To that testament, I'm in agreement that it's time to find a new Zelda formula. Like Breath of the Wild was like, okay, it was a breath of fresh air. It was like, oh my goodness. But we've done the Breath of the Wild thing for, 10, 12 years. It's time for something new. I think that's another reason why I am excited to play Ocarina of Time again, because it harkens back to another era, and I want to see how they change it and make the experience even more enjoyable. Quake 311 says playing Twilight Princess HD right now with my daughter. I prefer that Zelda. I prefer that Zelda over Ocarina. Once again, that port remains off of Switch in 2026. I could dig that. Jay Biggs says, I never played Metal Gear Solid 2 through 5, so I would love to finally have a chance to play those. Yeah, you know what? Metal Gear Solid 2 was my favorite until 4 came. 4 was like, I was on a whole nother level. JB said, we know sooner or later a new Zelda is coming out. Absolutely. Sold too many games, not to somebody be working on it. That you need something to fill in the gap while they work on it. Agreed. Yep. GT said, oh my bad. It's time for an Assassin's Creed style Zelda game with an actual focus on the story. You know what? I agreed. You know what? Um, I One reason why I like not Tears of the Kingdom, but what's the name of that Zelda game that's like Hyrule Warriors. But the reason why I like those games is because it was kind of story heavy, and I dug that. That was just, that was just another attractive feed. Matter of fact, I need to finish that. I got so many games I just need to finish because I started it and something else came out and another game came out. Anybody know how much that Tomb Raider they got announced today? How much that costs? Steve says, there really wasn't much new Nintendo first party announcements. I got excited about other than Xenoblade Genesis. The sports game looks lame to me. Ocarina of Time looks cool, but not enough shown yet. Yep, that's the reason why I gave it a C. I'm getting Star Fox, Platoon, Raiders, Fire Emblem, but we knew about them already. Yep, and that's the reason why this show to me was a C because it wasn't nothing new. It was not really what new was from Nintendo. Let me think about it. I don't know if it's anything new from Nintendo that I was like, oh, okay. Everything else I pretty much knew about. 29. Oh, yeah, I'm buying that today. Oh, yeah. 29.99. I am picking that up today. GT says, I don't think Nintendo is talented enough. Woo. To make the Zelda game I want, though. They make simplistic games with basic stories that are quality built. Yeah, maybe not. So I don't think Nintendo is able to make a complex story with a dense world and complex game mechanics. See, that last part of your statement is to me what I have a problem with a lot of games is those comp. I don't want to have to get a thesis on how to play a game. I want to be able to get in, play, have a good time with it, and then move on. But if I gotta have a PhD to be able to play your game, I don't want to. I don't want to give you that much time. CMG said, all I know is about to get real. People in San Antonio are pissed. Yeah, they should be. It ain't that serious. You know what? It's a basketball game. At the end of the day, man, we play basketball. There's a winner, there's a loser, and that's it, man. But to be putting your hands on somebody because I got a spur jacket on, this is the reason why people carry weapons. Like, man, you try to beat me up because I'm put me to a corner, I'm shooting you. Plain and simple. Off some nonsense. It'd be different if I was like disrespectful with it. Your team lost, man. Take that L and play another game. The series ain't over. I gotta beat nobody up because y'all lost. Can't stand sensitive adults. Retaliate. Yeah, I wouldn't. Ain't no way I'm going to jail over no San Antonio Spur or no New York Nick. I'm not going over somebody's team that somebody else owns and making money off of. I'm about to go to jail and lose my life over it. That is absolutely crazy, man. Who think who is thinking of this, man? All right, just want to see if anything newsworthy popped up. We can cover real quick. If not, I'm gonna call it a wrap. I'm gonna go. I'll probably play a little demo later. I might even get online and play. Oh, you know what? Listen, let me go ahead, switch gears, switch it over to the wheel real quick. Oh no, not that one. Let me go back to here for a minute. I don't understand why it's working just fine. All right, I guess it wasn't connected. Just kind of want to scroll up. You know, hey, this title, this arc right here. Nintendo is playing too safe. I agree, man. I agree. They are playing it way too safe. GT says, that's all I'm asking for. Imagine going into a dungeon, getting blueprints to craft the massive sword, getting the materials, forging it, and fighting Ganon in the epic battle. Okay, all right. That do sound dope. that, do, that do sound like, ooh. Like what you doing, man? I'm getting my materials together so I can make this I can make this sword. Yeah, that'd have been a smart decision to make. You cook everything else, you might want to get together and forge the sword. You had to get the materials out of Ganon's cave. They might stop the watch parties. Can't have nothing. Showcase can't have nothing. Could be a game where Hyrule was invaded. You have to save outposts like the Shadow of Mordor. Oh man, Shadow of Mordor. Bring that to Switch too, man. Listen, as a matter of fact, the first game I bought on Steam. Fight mini bosses. Yeah, that would be dope. Craft armor, weapons, etc. Okay, all right, all right. You got me on that one. That sounds really enticing. Shadow of Mordor, man. I love that system, man. I loved how you know if one of them dudes beat you, they came back and taunt you. Oh, it got you so hyped that wanted to kill them. Yeah, Shadow of Mordor. Listen, bring that. Put them both together. I can play that. I can play Shadow of Mordor right now. That's a game like, hey, I've beaten that game, but I would replay that game in a heartbeat. That game was fun. Kenny from A says, I really need to beat Tomb Raider trilogy before Atlas. Yeah, you know what? I didn't beat the last Tomb Raider. I beat the first two. I think when the third one came out, it was kind of Tomb Raider out. Is it even in GT's hometown of Toronto? Yeah, you know what? Toronto ain't about that. Like they nice people. I want to know where is Kid Icarus and Kirby. That's what GT said earlier. Where is Kid Icarus? Luigi's Mansion. A new Mario. Nintendo is about to raise the price on Switch 2. They need to bring out games to make it worth it. That's another reason why, man. Like after watching this show, man, they need a September direct. Cause they getting ready to raise these prices. So you better show people right in this holiday season. You should be buying the Switch too. and there's a Zelda movie coming out. I think Jay Big says I hate crafting. I listen. I'm not the biggest crafting fan either. However, I did like cooking in Zelda, and I think if I had it was a storyline about getting the materials together to forge the sword, I'd be all about that. I am ashamed to be a New Yorker. Golly. Yeah, I might check social media later, but not at this very second. Let's see. GT says in Toronto we started the watch party thing, but no, we're not out here rioting and fighting people who support the other team. New York is full of hooligans. Hooligans. JB says I didn't beat two Rated Shadows and Underworld. Oh, you didn't beat it. Yeah. J Big, I mean GT says I think there is plenty of reasons to buy a Switch 2 if you like Nintendo. It's just more of the same for me though, and it barely excites me. Hmm. Quay 311 says I gave Fallout 4 a try recently and stopped because of the crafting. Ooh-wee. Well, that's good to know. Because I said I was going to pick up Fallout 4 later on this year. To me, listen, get to the action. You know what game I'm excited for that Sony didn't talk about? The remake of God of War. That remake of that God of War trilogy, yes, I am here for that. Give me a game where we get in and we get right busy. That intro scene to God of War 2, man, was phenomenal. Yeah, I want a game just like that. You soon as cut the game on, we are in battle. Ain't no explanation. We getting it. That's what I want. We can slow down after an hour or two. JB says, I just want to picture up my weapon run out of bullets. Get the next weapon. You know what? Another game that didn't show off during the whole season. I want to see some more footage of that John Wick game. You know what? They showed that one little clip. I think maybe during some or during Jeff Keighley show. We haven't seen anything else since then. My bad, good people. I was through my eye. All right. Well, good people. Listen, you know what? We've been in for about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm not gonna beat this dead horse. Uh, Dia said, "What up, gaming dad? I missed the direct. Buddy, go back and watch it. I I won't give you no spoilers if you haven't watched it, but I gave this direct a C. If this was a partners direct, it would have I would have gave it a B. If they say, listen, we're having a partners direct, then I'd have been like, all right, fine, I'll give it a B. But a general direct, it gets a C. Steven says, is the God of War trilogy remake going to be PS6 only or cross gen? I think it's gonna be cross gen because they announced that not at the last state of play. So I believe that it's gonna be cross gen. Thanks, Kiki. I thought the discussion was pretty good. GT says, I just want to know if they are going to keep the three the 3 screen. A God of War with the mini games and knocking all the items on the side table. You know what? Probably so. They probably keep it true. Man, take GTE funny. All right, good people, man. Listen, I'm gonna wrap it up. Y'all have yourself a wonderful day. I might get back on later on today because you know what? I got some cleaning to do around the house today, but I'm gonna play this demo that's just finished downloading, and I'm gonna probably might play some Tomb Raider too. So be on the lookout, man. I might be streaming later on tonight, man. Feel free, man. Get on, get our chit chat on. I thought I saw something else. Let's see. Like they didn't show another Genshin Impact Switch 2 release reportedly leaked ahead of Nintendo Direct. But it wasn't at the show. Nope, it wasn't at the live stream. I don't see no date. Well, it is what it is. I never did play Genshin Impact. I kind of wanted it back on the original Switch, but I was like, yeah, you know. That day has come and gone. I forgot all about Batman. See, I was really hyped for Batman. I hate that Batman on the Switch 2 got delayed. Let me check one more thing. Mm, I don't know who Villain Studios are, but they're the people that are behind Star Fox. Dang, Fire Emblem is $70 digital, $80 physical. Kingdom Hearts Collection requires 131 gigabyte. Nope. Japan. Nintendo announces Splatoon Raiders Nintendo Switch 2 bundle. Get out of here. The packaging looks dope. Boy, oh boy, hold on. Let me go through some of these stories real quick. Lies of P and Lords of Fallen 2 announced for Switch 2. I thought I saw a article with where the Lies of P had like a bundle or something. Okay, well, yeah, really nothing that we've already talked about. And this would have been dope. This would have been dope. Quay says, "Go Knights, go!" Oh, maybe let's go Knicks. He on that gaming dad, yes sir. ACMG. Fire Emblem will cost me $200 after I buy all the season passes and DLC. It's like 120 for the base game. Golly. She. All right, good people. Listen, I'm out of here. All right. Y'all have yourself a wonderful afternoon. I may see y'all later on this evening. And everything new pop up, we'll talk about it later on tonight. I get on this Star Fox demo. All right, good people. This is your boy Gaming Dad, and I am Audi 5000G. Peace. I would say peace. Peace out, but I think peace out is played out. So peace for the Middle East.